Stop It and listen to Stop It, the podcast we're doing now. My name is Zach Peterson, the host of Stop It with Zach Peterson. And with me today is my friend, and soon to be yours, Kevin O'Brien.
Oh, Zach, come on.
Yeah.
We're old homies.
We are. It's been a while.
When did we meet?
15
years ago?
Something like that. I've been doing comedy for about that long. Yeah. The old Denver-Omaha connection.
I know. Well, I'm from Nebraska initially,
right?
And so I was so stoked when you started doing stand-up and we're doing shows out here. So every time I came back, I actually had something cool to do for once.
Right.
No knock on Omaha, but late 2000s, early 2010s wasn't a super vibrant comedy scene around here. And then you threw the whole city on your back.
I can't take all the responsibility.
There's another person who won't be named that was involved.
It's Jocelyn. Jocelyn, way to go. Thank you for everything.
Jocelyn was in elementary school at the time.
That's true. I mean, a lot has changed in a really, and a lot of people will be like, oh, back in my day, things were better. They weren't. Like
no.
Now in terms of comedy, Omaha's the best it's ever been.
I'll be your witness.
Yeah,
I remember. Like, what was that one open mic that existed? There was only one open mic.
There was Duffy's in Lincoln.
That's right.
It's still going.
Still.
Yeah. It's been around since like 81.
Has it ever been good though? Okay.
Jocelyn says yes.
Voice of the future right there.
That was
I only did Duffy's like 2 or 3 times, and it was always pretty rough.
I mean,
but I'm not trying to like grandstand. When I started out in Denver, there was plenty of rough open mics that I did. That's what made me so tough, dude.
But what standards was it good? I mean, like open mic standard, it's okay.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Like the best open mic is still like maybe as good as a bad showcase. No, right? Like
I've had some phenomenal Comedy Estate open mic.
Oh, I've heard that's really good.
Boy, that was better than most shows I've ever done.
Yeah, AJ Grill told me when I was up there last year, he's like, I know it's going to sound stupid, but it might be worth the drive for you to go out there, and I missed it.
It was. I went to Chicago to do it. Damn. A 6-hour round trip.
Back to back,
3 and then 3.
That is so Nebraska, dude.
Yeah.
Like I try and tell people this living in New York now, where it's like my entire childhood and life was just driving 4 hours in either direction, or sometimes 8 hours. Like even living in Denver, it took like 7-8 hours to get here, 7-8 hours to get to Salt Lake, and 7-8 hours to get to Albuquerque.
That's right.
And I was like, I don't want to travel at all anymore. Like, if it's more than like 2 hours.
No, I get that.
And I'm like taking a train like an old man and just staring out the window, listening to jazz music and stuff. Like
some Dave Brubeck on the Manhattan Transfer.
Yeah,
it's the best. It's the best. Yeah, I love Dave Brubeck.
Wow, this got very old very fast. Yeah. Talking about
Wait, let's do Coltrane.
Brubeck,
Which Davis album? Which Miles?
Little Ornette Coleman for the train ride up to Boston.
I love the alto sax.
Yeah, come on, bro.
Okay. This is Kevin O'Brien, as we know. But Kevin, tell everyone who you are, why they should care, and where they can reach you. And then we'll start pulling questions.
I can fill in a few of those. So my name's Kevin O'Brien. I was born in Omaha. Moved out to North Platte, Nebraska when I was 8 years old.
Right.
Had a very Conor Oberst kind of upbringing out there. And then immediately moved to Denver when I was 18 to get the heck out. And lived in Denver for about 12 years. Did radio. Then 2008 recession happened. So then I was like, all right, I'm going to start working in bars. And I was writing about music, started doing stand-up.
That's right.
I blinked and 5 years went by and I was quite a rabble-rouser around Denver for a minute.
That's right.
Like I had a podcast called These Things Matter that you were on.
A great podcast.
You're one of our best guests, too. Obviously, I'm biased because we talked about Nebraska the whole time.
Right. Yeah, so my episode was on Alexander Payne, but that was, when that was going on, I was always excited for new episodes of that.
Yeah, man. And then I wrote for the Alt Weekly for a while there, and then it got really expensive, hit that creative ceiling, and then started feeling like time to move, and I moved to New York in 2017.
Yeah.
And which is crazy to think about how long it's been. I've been in New York now. And now I'm vinyl DJ, stand-up, comedy producer, and once again, bartender in New York. And also a big wife guy now, too.
Yeah, me too.
For a couple years. Yeah. Look at us. Wife guy.
Oh, yeah.
Bing!
All right. I'll let them know. Yeah. Okay.
Is that good? Did I get
that was great. That was great. I was just going to I got into like catch up mode with friend, and there's like, wait, I got podcasts to do. Yeah. So
you got lost in my eyes.
Yeah.
That's a good podcast host, though.
Yeah, I'm
it's
trying.
Just like they're hanging out on the couch with us, right?
Right. And also, there's one thing that you didn't really talk about that links us is the arguments and grievances.
Oh, that's right. Yes, we both. Yeah, you produced the Chicago show. I produced the Denver show, and we did that for. like 6 years or something, maybe longer.
I think like 8 or 9 for me.
Yeah,
We can talk
with
about
our
that
pal
for a
Kevin
time.
White.
That's right.
Perpetual pain in the ass for both of
Kevin,
us.
Kevin Brody, Goodrich, Gavarva.
Oh yeah, good. Yeah,
You know, Kevin Brody lives here.
he does.
Yeah, I'll talk. That's another. We should start doing questions. We're just catching up.
Dude, this is gonna be just such old man at the
Yeah.
diner if we don't get into it.
All right, we're gonna learn a lot about each other.
I have a question before we get to it.
Sure.
Where do these questions come from?
Me.
You wrote all these yourself. No Chat GPT.
No Chat GPT.
Good.
But a lot of Google searches.
Okay.
And also like writing prompts. Like
So there's
stuff
just
like that.
thousands of them in there that have just been in there the whole time.
I'd say hundreds.
Okay.
That's like 700 or something like that.
All right. Now I'm nervous.
So, I mean, but it can be anything. A lot of them aren't good. Let's get that.
That's
out there.
fine.
Yeah.
You know me. I'm a riffer.
Oh, this is perfect for you.
Okay.
Because you're a big fashion guy.
Am I?
Oh, I mean, you're vintage
I mean,
clothing.
I do look cool right
You're
now.
vintage clothing fella.
Dude, look at this right here.
I know, that's good.
94 national champs. My good friend Matt Poor, who I grew up with out in western Nebraska, lives in New York, longer than me. Troubadour guitar player guy got this for me for Christmas this past year.
It's a good hat.
Thank you.
Vintage snapback.
Yeah, man.
Well,
Let's see. Is this oh yeah. We got ourselves kudzu.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, you know, before new what's it?
New Era?
New Era.
I just listed a vintage New Era Angels snapback on eBay.
Well, you're a huge vintage guy. 'Cause
Yeah, well,
your whole side career is just going to estate sales and like pulling cool stuff out of dead people's closets, right?
That's what I've been trying to do.
You're a natural.
I'm just trying to rob the graves of.
Well, you actually provided me two of my favorite items via my wife got me a Harold and Maude vintage movie poster that she bought from you.
That's right.
And then our good friend Sam Talent got me the iconic Huskers 95 starter jacket that he also got from you. So, all right, let's get to the question then.
So this is an easy one. This is a good one, fella.
Okay.
What fashion trend are you patiently awaiting to come back?
Oh, dang, that's too good of a question.
Well, you're going to have to deal with it, Buster.
All right, so most of them have already come back. I'm going to zag on the question a little bit. The one that I dislike the most, Von Dutch hats.
Oh, those are back, huh?
They are. And then low-rise jean, I don't mind. Like flare bottom, like bell bottom, I don't mind either. But the Von Dutch hat, I'm almost shocked that. And also the Juicy Couture sweatsuits. I thought those would just be buried forever. But that just goes to show that like bad taste becomes chic like every 25 years.
Right. Well, we know that like most culture is cyclical, right?
Yeah.
Where it always comes back, but the thing is, it's never the good culture.
Well, I mean,
you know what I mean?
There's little bits of it that come out, but the monoculture tends to gravitate towards like kind of the worst part of that, right? So like the thing that I do like about the Y2K culture that's coming back is bigger fits, which I mean, this is a double XL Carrie Butter sweater, so I'm down with a bigger fit now. And then the other one is just like loud color blocking. Like, I mean, I loved being a millennial and it was a great time to be like growing up, but it was way too much like gray and white. There's probably photos of me, I'm almost positive, gray blazer, gray hoodie, gray t-shirt. And I looked really cool at the time, but that is just so bland.
Right.
So I'm sure that's going to start in the next 2 or 3 years with like Charlie XCX and the Dare doing like LCD sound system cosplay. I think the gray thing is going to start popping up here in the next year or two.
Really?
And so if anything, I'm patiently waiting for that to come into vogue to then die out again. So I didn't mean to get too galaxy brained on the question, but
right.
too much like monotone and like monochromes that I'm not really looking forward to.
Okay, yeah. See, I like the resurgence of the late '90s, early 2000s, like bright colors, the greens, and like
Billie Eilish, dude. She dresses like Fred Durst.
Yeah,
and I'm here for it. I love it. I saw Limp Bizkit last year at Woodstock up in New York, and it was some of the most fun I've had in a long time.
Well, I mean, we're talking about culture being cyclical. That's the bad part about culture coming back.
Come on now. No. You weren't there. You didn't see the 20-somethings all dressed up like Fred Durst having a good time. Yeah, I saw high school sweethearts from 1999 having very loud fights in public while the show's going on.
I saw that in the 90s. I don't need to see it again.
I didn't get to see them in the 90s. That's why I am like the peak nostalgia guy right now. I've seen Limp Bizkit, Deftones, Korn, Green Day, all in less than the past year. And so thankfully, like, I'm not rich, obviously, but I can afford like $200 to go get in the pit and save these little teeny boppers from themselves as like jacked CrossFit looking 50 somethings are out there just like trying to let out their angst and youth.
Well, early 2000s, late 90s, I was in the hardcore scene pretty.
Oh yeah.
Like, and so like nu metal was our arch nemesis.
Of course.
I still have.
Dude, this is, so you and I have been DMing about, there's this account now, it's like Omaha Hardcore or whatever, and it's like all this Cog Factory stuff, which I was jealous of living out in North Platte because I knew about it at the time. But there was only so many times a year I could like catch a ride into Omaha to go to any of this stuff. Yeah. And so nu metal was huge out in the middle of nowhere.
Oh yeah.
It was like, it's the most uncosmopolitan type of heavy rock and roll.
It really is.
So that like, even though I grew out of it and, you know, got really into sophisticated punk rock and,
and jazz,
indie sleaze and jazz and hip hop and everything else, there still is this core part of me that's like 12 years old wearing like a TJ Maxx 2 size too big, like silver puffer jacket and like oversized NBA shooting shirts and stuff like that. Like very like, it is dweeby, but it's very earnest. And I think that's what's so great about it.
I think I have the same tendencies, just in different parts of my life.
Well, yeah, it's like we all have our areas where we're snobs and then areas where we're slobs. And so this isn't a thing. Like if anybody thinks they're just exclusively a snob, they're missing the whole point of existence. Like you need to have both parts. And if you don't acknowledge that, then you're lying to yourself ultimately.
Yeah, I think that's your new TikTok series, Snob or Slob. It's like, oh, what? Like,
why
what
gotta
is
get on TikTok first? I'm such a geezer. I don't even go on TikTok.
Yeah, Silverchair, Snob or Slob. Dude, I say slob.
Well, also the other thing, like I wanted to be a modern rock radio DJ as a kid.
Oh yeah,
I'm still like old enough that I remember when that was the cool job to have.
Right.
So like back announcing Bush and Silverchair seemed pretty cool to me.
Yeah.
And then now I listen to 89.7 The River and I was like, I can't believe I thought this station was ever cool.
Well,
yeah, putting you on blast, The River.
Is The River still, is the,
I don't even know. But
is it? Okay.
Dude, I almost went to school there because like I came this close to going to broadcasting school at Iowa Western instead of going to Denver to go to like a better school.
Right.
Because I just wanted to be on The River so bad. And then we went and took a tour. My dad's like, I can't let you do this.
Yeah.
He's like, you're better than this, honey. He's like, you got to go visit these other schools, man. And I was like, but I could be 19 and getting free tickets to Shinedown or something like that.
Yeah, you can shine down. Also, Mike Perry was a River DJ.
Oh, I'm well aware.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, Mike Perry was on Q92 or
something like that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, dude.
This is again, we're talking about our mutual friends.
I'm telling you. Yeah. We were talking about it before the show started. I was like, I'm glad you're doing this so it's not one of those inside baseball comedy podcasts. Yeah. And I immediately turned it into that.
Inside Nebraska, circa 2010.
Niche, yeah. You guys want to know about indie comedy in 2010 in Omaha?
Yeah. I think there's about 6 people that want to know about it, and they were there.
Yeah, exactly.
What movie? This is good because there's a lot of cultural stuff in here, and like you had that pop culture podcast, so I know you're well versed. What movie should everyone see at least once?
Oh, Harold and Maude.
Oh yeah,
yeah, dude. I think it's kind of a perfect movie because the pacing of it is beautiful. It's influenced so many like all Garden State or even like some Alexander Payne movies. And just the pacing of it just really kind of envelops you.
Right.
It's a non-traditional love story, but it's really sweet. It's hilarious and heartbreaking at the same time.
Yeah.
They do a great job. And I mean, I'm not the biggest Cat Stevens fan by any stretch of the imagination.
It's a good soundtrack.
But Hal Ashby just does an incredible job of using music to help pace his movies and just add this emotional weight to it.
Right. I mean, it was sort of like a proto Wes Anderson. Like without that movie, there's not a lot of the screwball indie comedies, the sort of the artisan.
Yeah, like he essentially he's one of the first guys that people started calling an auteur.
Yeah.
And so I think, and I mean, the easy answer for me is like, It's a Wonderful Life, but I think everybody's seen that.
I haven't.
What?
I don't care.
Do you not I know you're a pagan, but you never celebrated Christmas at all?
I love Christmas. I'm a big Christmas guy.
Christmas movie.
I like A Christmas Story.
Well, sure, but
I mean, it was never presented to me. You know, nostalgia is passed along, right? It's not. Okay. It's not innate. So we're not like.
But you're wise, dude. It isn't. It's not innate. It has to be passed along.
It's cultural.
Yes.
Right? So, it was never in my family. My family never watched that.
Okay.
We were a big Christmas Story person. And since then, I've... there's other movies I've put in my rotation, but Christmas Story.
Okay, I'm changing my answer then. I guess it's a Wonderful Life. I was being too presumptuous. I thought that was one that everybody had seen, but It's a Wonderful Life is I feel like it's dictated so much of my life because I saw it so much as a kid, and I watch it every year. And the way that George Bailey is principled and earnest and righteous, but he wants to leave his hometown, but he keeps being pulled back to it because he loves it so much, and he takes on the responsibility of fighting the evil powers that try and buy out the entire town because they don't care about the people. They just care, as he says, I know what you're talking about. You're talking about something you can't get your hands on. That's what you're talking about, Mr. Potter. You don't understand anything.
No, I know the movie. There's so much in the cultural milieu that I understand, your references.
Do me a favor. This Christmas, watch It's a Wonderful Life.
Okay, as long as you watch Gremlins.
Oh, I love Gremlins. I know, Chris, the Phoebe Cates monologue about her dad as Santa Claus.
Yeah.
Woo! Come on.
It's one of the best Christmas movies. Okay, well I'll possibly watch it.
I didn't mean to shame you.
Oh, I
think if anybody's watching the video, I think I got very red when you said it.
Do you have a Thanksgiving movie?
Oh yeah, so my wife and I started doing this a few years ago because we tend to spend Thanksgiving either when her dad was still alive, we go down to Maryland. Right. It'd just be the three of us, and now it's just usually the two of us.
Yeah.
So now our regular double feature is we watch Son-in-Law with Pauly Shore first. You ever see that one?
Yeah.
Amazing film.
I wouldn't call it a film, but
I would. It's well done.
I'd have to rewatch it.
And then obviously Planes, Trains, and Automobiles after that.
Yeah.
And if it's a longer holiday where it's I'm home all day, then we'll probably squeeze in Dutch, which is the most unheralded John Hughes movie.
Right. Home for the Holidays is one that's on repeat on the home. Yeah.
But there's so few Thanksgiving movies.
Right.
But the few that there are slap, dude.
That's right.
If you're a Gen X millennial type person, I mean, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles is a masterpiece. And the Son-in-Law is just super fun.
Yeah.
And Son-in-Law, there's so much about it. Even though it's South Dakota, it reminds me of home in Nebraska. But now I feel more like Pauly Shore in that movie.
Right.
Because I've been gone for so long. So each time I show up, I'm wearing loud colors and calling everybody buddy.
Asking everyone to wheeze the juice.
Oh, yeah, man. Yeah. I'm just trying to munch on some grinded, buddy.
Don't tax my gig so hardcore, Cruster.
Yes.
What percentage is your phone at?
Oh, good question. I think it's, all right, I haven't looked, but I'm going to say 91.
91, huh?
Oh, I was way off. 67.
67,
Yikes.
Wow.
If anybody's got a
Okay, I'm at 58. Which
always?
Is not yes. Always. I keep it charged
I'm
a bit.
Perpetual. I read something years ago. If you keep it at 58, you'll get a longer battery life. Brother.
I mean, does that stress you out? There's in the 60s.
No. Honestly, I don't really get too stressed. Even when it gets down to 6, and I'm a low power mode man myself.
Right.
I bet it's on low power mode right now.
Yeah.
This is my hack version of an old joke. Why don't they make the whole battery out of low power mode?
Thank you.
Remember that? The old
That's
black
good.
box
That's
recorder?
good.
Yeah. This happened to me last Thursday. I go see Cursive and Bright Eyes.
Nice.
And then leave there, immediately go see James Murphy from LCD Sound System DJ at Good Room. And I didn't get a full charge before I left the house, but I'm taking some cool pics, Shazamming some songs. Yeah. And I'm talking to James at 4:15 in the morning after his DJ set. And I'm writing down some notes because I'm trying to find out what records he played. Right, and then right then my phone died. And I was like, that's the end of the night, I guess. And I just then I left a minute after that, gave him a pound, said thanks, and I went to my favorite bodega. And then I was going to take the train, but I was like, I wonder if they got a charger. Bodega guy charged my phone just enough that I could call a Lyft, get into it, got home, and when I got home, phone was dead. So it's it's all a timing thing too. it's all based. I'm not gonna get stressed out just because my phone's dead.
Right.
But if my phone's dead and I need to use it or I need to be somewhere, and even then I'm not that stressed out because everybody has a charger now, more or less.
Right.
And the other
you
thing
can get
too,
charged.
Yeah. And the other thing too is like I didn't get a cell phone until I graduated high school. So I have like an entire like first half of my life where I wasn't dependent upon it. And so I have a particular set of skills in ways that maybe other people don't.
That's so wild. It's like, because I remember my first cell phone I was going to bars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude. We are so old.
I know.
I feel so young and vibrant until we started hanging out. I'm like, oh, brother, you remember?
I know.
I was doing my yoga stretches earlier today. I had shin splints just from walking around, man.
Yep. I got my basketball game in the morning tomorrow with a bunch of other.
Oh, I don't play basketball anymore. I'm so scared of like tearing my Achilles or ACL that now I just boogie board and like swim in the ocean and stuff.
Yeah, must be nice.
It is. Hey man, come out to the coast.
I don't want to. I've been there.
Oh, dude, I wasn't a beach guy until I lived on the coast, and now I go out to Rockaway Beach every week. I'm full on Mahalo, bro.
Is that what they're like in Rockaway Beach?
Well, they're a little punk rock too.
But, there was the Ramones song. Yeah, Rockaway Beach,
and it is hard to reach. But this is my look when I'm out at the beach. I bought a Korn bootleg shirt after the show last year.
Yeah.
As soon as I touched it, I'm like, oh God, I got ripped off. Because it's like made of that petroleum kind of thing.
Right.
But it's a perfect swim shirt. It's like my rash guard. So I got a Korn shirt on, tie-dye trunks. And so I like blast Deftones to like psych myself up. And I go catch like 3 or 4 footers just getting wrecked by those waves.
Sounds nice.
It's sick, dude.
Yeah.
I love it.
Sounds like there's a lot going on in New York City.
Who'd have thunk?
I don't know. All right. Stop it. That's what I was supposed to say. Okay. Has any other contemporary author impacted popular culture as much in the last century as Stephen King?
The 21st century?
The 20th. I mean, like 20th, 21st. In the last century. I mean, like.
In the last 100 years?
Yeah, last 100 years.
Not calendar century.
I mean, yeah. Think of like the impact overall that Stephen King has had.
I get due to breadth and volume, I'd probably say yes, because first of all, here's another story about me. I almost got kicked out of 6th grade at a 2-room schoolhouse outside of Lexington, Nebraska, because for a book report, I did my book report on Misery.
Oh, yeah.
And then, because I read the whole book when I was 12, which is crazy to think about. Yep. My nephew's 10 now. He's reading Harry Potter. But anyways, part of my book report is I made a movie poster for Misery. Yeah. I just didn't copy the one for the movie. I made this gory-ass movie poster with blood dripping off the axe.
Yeah.
And my poor 23-year-old right out of college teacher like ripped it down.
Yeah.
I didn't go to recess. She started crying while talking to me about it.
Yeah.
She was like, I know you're a talented writer, but you're scaring the children around here. And I was like, geez, all right, lady.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, but that's the first sign of like a child possession is like just drawing the
I was Damien from The Omen.
Yeah. This is what a man looks like with his legs broken. Like, all right, get this kid out of here.
Well, then I saw the movie of Misery and I was like, that's so tame.
Yeah.
And because the book is like so graphic and like the murder scenes and stuff. And then around that same time, I saw Maximum Overdrive for the first time.
Oh, yeah.
Which is, it's ostensibly a terrible movie.
Awful.
But it rules, dude. Yeah. Like, especially if you're watching it on Joe Bob Briggs late at night when you're 12 years old. And so I still watch that like once a year or so. Because I just think it's like, and it really terrified me when I was a kid. Because unlike Friday the 13th or Halloween or whatever, and I lived out in the woods. I should have been scared of stuff like that.
Right.
But what I found more terrifying was that my alarm clock would go off in the morning. I'd hit it and it'd just electrocute me and be dead. Or like the scene where the sodas like shoot out of the vending machine. And stuff
that's
like
the thing I always think about. You think
really on set. The other thing too, there's a scene in that where the lawnmower comes alive and it has blood all around it because I already ran somebody over. The scene in Misery where the sheriff gets killed in the book, she runs his head over with a lawnmower. Yeah. Yet in the movie, she just shoots him with a gun. So this whole thing of like lawnmowers as like violent tools really had an impact on me when I was 12 because all I did was like work in cornfields and mow lawns and stuff for like extra scratch.
Yeah, I think that's what happened to the Unabomber. They saw maximum overdrive. He's like, nope.
Yep. I'm gonna go. I didn't need no power around me and just work on my manifestos.
Well, another Stephen King. Speaking of. First time I even heard of Children of the Corn.
Oh yeah,
living in Iowa, I was
Grand Island.
Yeah, it scared the hell out of me. The idea that there's children in the corn. Like I was out of the corn. I was a children myself. So so I was like 12, being like,
another possessed kid.
Exactly.
Malachi, yeah,
that's right.
Yeah,
that's right. I mean, we haven't even talked about The Shining, Christine, Cujo, The Stand.
Yeah, and I'm not even like a huge Stephen King fan necessarily, but I think that's probably to your point. I think answers the question is like, he's so ubiquitous, right?
Right.
That like whoever you would try and compare to that just doesn't have across different mediums and generations. And just volume of output.
Yeah, because I'm not even looking at this.
I'm not a big fan necessarily either. But it's like whatever your fear is, like Cujo, it's about a dog.
Right. And now that
Christine, Maximum Overdrive, trucks, the cars come to life. There's each part of like that deep-seated fear that each person has. He seems to like be able to key in on that.
Right.
And so I mean, I got to give him his flowers.
Well, I mean, I'm not saying he's the best author of the last 100 years.
Oh, but all my literary friends talk about how terrible of an author he is.
Well, I mean, yeah, but I'm not a literary person. Like,
yeah, you didn't even know what the word deferential meant.
No, I don't know what that means. Has he played for the Nuggets? Like, it's Jokic and deferential.
Yeah, quite a two-man team.
Yeah, I know.
No one shoots the ball, unfortunately. They just keep passing it back and forth.
I know, a lot of assists. But yeah, but I mean, just the things like, because if I say Cujo, we don't even think about the movie or the actual story of it. We just think, oh, a mean dog,
rabid dog. Yeah,
and I can't think of another author that has like just thrown things out there and has impacted people that much. Because in the 80s and 90s, like there was always a Stephen King movie out. We talked about Silver Bullet, Dead Zone, Thinner.
Oh, Silver Bullet.
Yeah.
My dad talks about when I watched Silver Bullet when I was like 4 or 5 years old.
Salem's Lot.
And I have Silver Bullet on VHS now. Also, I have 500 VHS tapes at home.
Yeah, physical media.
Oh yeah, it's becoming an issue in my marriage too. So that's how you know I'm really about it.
Yep.
Okay. I don't have a whole house like you, Zach. I got a 2-bedroom apartment.
I know. I was gonna start talking about some stuff, but I was like, that's my home life, and I don't like talking about that on my podcast.
Don't dock Zach.
I know. Well, we'll talk about it off camera. All right. Very philosophical. Very 50 Cent philosophical question. What makes someone rich to you? I mean, you can take that in a couple different ways.
Well, this is probably boilerplate now that I'm full on middle age, but having a community that loves you.
Well, there you go.
Also very, It's a Wonderful Life.
That's right.
That's right. Yeah, as I say, George Bailey, the richest man in town.
Yeah. I mean, that's the way that I thought you'd probably take the question. It's just like spiritually rich, emotionally rich.
And if you're really hard up and you need the money, it'll show up for you.
That's right.
Just as long as you're not constantly asking for money and you're like a leech on somebody. And I mean, I don't like that GoFundMe is our like de facto healthcare in this country. However, the fact that most GoFundMes for friends of mine that have had issues get funded beyond what the initial ask is is a great sign as far as the impact that they've had on their friends and family and community.
Yeah, I feel like socialized medicine would just be a preemptive GoFundMe. Do you know what I mean?
Maybe that's the way we should sell it.
We should, yeah.
We just have a GoFundMe for the entire country healthcare system.
Yeah, put in the...
And then that way, it's not like... oh, it's Marxism.
Right.
It's like, no, you choose to
it's a website.
Yeah. And like, oh, your friend's sick? Well, here, just give $20 to the national GoFundMe.
Every paycheck, GoFundMe takes $9 out of your check and puts it into GoFundMe.
I'm fine with that.
Everyone's sick.
Yeah.
That's good.
Also, but now that I'm hearing this out loud, I'm like, is this what Doge is trying to do, though? Is just like... use privatization for public goods or whatever. But
yeah.
The easy answer to the question is like rich community of fulfilling relationships. I
right.
think.
That's good. That's very the Platonic ideal of small town ideals.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's what they're supposed to be.
Dude, maybe that's why I liked It's a Wonderful Life so much, because it harkened back to probably a fantasy. But
right.
where I grew up, there was some of that, but then there was also a very, like, where I grew up is also kind of like Blue Velvet by David Lynch, too.
Okay.
There's like very gnarly underbelly.
Oh, yeah.
And a lot of people thinking that It's a Wonderful Life, but behaving more like Blue Velvet and all that. So like very corrupted and corruptible people who are just keeping up appearances, too.
Right.
So
I get that.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's just human nature. Wherever
Unfortunately,
you go.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay, let's take a different spin on this question.
Sure.
What object that if someone buys, then you can identify them as rich?
New face.
Okay, plastic surgery.
Yeah, that's the thing of like anytime. Look at Zuckerberg, dude.
Yeah.
Like, talk about a glow up. If anything, I had more respect for him when he looked like shit when he was so rich.
Yeah.
But then now he's trying to be like MMA hot dude or whatever.
Right.
I'm like, but that is like anytime you see. I mean, I used to know Nikki Glaser back in the day when she was just a regular Midwestern comic and like open for her on the road. Now you see her, she's like the new Joan Rivers or something. And I mean that in the highest compliment.
Yeah, that's not pejorative.
But also, there's so much money in her appearance now.
Right. Well, it has to be when
exactly,
you star like
because
that.
exactly. So that's, I guess, the easy answer too is like, because if you're on that platform and you're at that level of A-list, there's going to be a pressure for you to look perfect.
Right.
And now there's so many resources as well to like, I mean, I'm not going to get hair plugs or anything.
Yeah.
But I have a number of friends that got hair transplants because they were blowing up in stand-up.
Yeah.
And their agents and managers told them like they will have a better, longer career if they have a full head of hair.
Acting gigs and stuff like
exactly.
that. I think it's so funny that the richest people in the world, the final boss is being cool,
which is pathetic.
It's so funny and it's so like it's very poetic. Well, I mean, it's not
pathetic. Well, it's
poetic. Yeah, exactly. Where it's just like the one thing that money can't buy is friends.
Yeah,
it's like I just want to be a rock and roll man.
Yeah, man. I've always heard like money can't buy taste.
Yeah,
and now you're right too. Money can't buy friends, and also money can't buy security.
Yeah,
like inner security.
That's right.
Like the insecurity is what drives so many of these people to go on this quest of power.
Right.
And so then once they achieve it, there's nothing filled up in there.
Yeah.
So then they like Bezos gets jacked and just starts wearing leather motorcycle jackets around everywhere. Thinking that, oh yeah, now I'm the cool guy. Check me out, everybody. Meanwhile, everybody he knew back in the day doesn't even talk to him anymore. They're friends with his ex-wife. You know,
think with all that money, they'd get a therapist?
No, because then that would. That's like David Lynch talking about how he went to therapy one time, and they were like, "Well, we deconstruct everything about your psyche." And he's like, "Well, that's what my creativity is, so I'll just leave it at that."
Right.
And I think it's the same thing on the more negative end of the spectrum for like power brokers and like quests for money and all that sort of stuff, where they think like, and also there's a part of it too, like kind of that Scientology thing where it's like, why would I need a therapist? I'm clearly killing it.
Right.
And then I'm gonna have somebody who's going to prescribe me something that shouldn't even be allowed for everybody else. And before you know it, RFK is head of Health and Human Services. Like,
I am fascinated and almost envious of the folks that are like, with that supreme confidence, like everything has to do a good.
Don't be envious of that, man.
No, well, I mean,
Come
like,
on.
I mean, like it's like there's people like I mostly look at like athletes like this.
Oh yeah,
where it's like extreme belief in oneself, and I only believe that I will succeed, and there's no doubt in my failing. And I see like some people do that, and I see it and it's like, wow, what a way to live.
Yeah.
Like, what an interesting sort of way to like carry yourself instead of the exact opposite.
Sure. I hear what you're saying. You might be a little reductive with the professional athlete thing though, because a lot of them have to psych themselves up.
Right.
To do it. Yeah. Like not everybody's Kobe. Thankfully, thank God, by the way.
yeah.
But I saw this thing a couple months ago, though, of like Cristiano Ronaldo psyching himself up before a penalty kick.
Right.
And he, at one point, he says, like, this is normal for you. but he has to tell himself that it's normal for him.
Wow.
Because he still is a person. He's still a human in there. And so that's something I've definitely taken with my life and my pursuits in a lot of ways too, because you know, I've had plenty of moments where anxiety spikes like crazy.
Yeah.
And there's hundreds and hundreds of people looking at me, whether I'm doing stand up or DJing or anything else like that. And so I just have to like tune it out, which is like what athletes do, and just focus on the very specific thing that I just need, the A to B of it.
Right.
And so, and the yips are a thing, especially in sports. The reason why they call it the yips is like a guy's thrown this same pass his entire life. All of a sudden, he doesn't know how to throw a ball. Yeah. It's got nothing to do with his body. It's got to do with his mind.
But I think, like, say you're like, you know, trying to sack a quarterback.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
You know, and then you're going against.
You're right. I'm talking about offensive things. Defensive guys, like, they're just singular minded.
Right. Well, and you're going against a great tackle like Olaf Fashanu or someone, right? And like, what makes you think that you're going to beat one of the best in the world? Because you think
I'm the best.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm the best in the world.
Yeah.
And how does one get to that and really believe it? Not just say it, but really believe it.
Which, I mean, I'm sure you know this from being a stand-up, is that it usually starts with being different than those around you.
Yeah.
Like something will come more naturally. And everybody's like, what's with this guy?
Yeah.
And then you start following that path and you find other people that feel the same way as you, but they're way better than you are or more experienced. So then you have to like work up to that. So I think there's a lot of parallels between, you know, stand-up comedians, especially, and a lot of athletes in that way, that you know, you got to put a lot of reps in, and you got to spend a lot of time alone getting your shot up, and spend a lot of time inside your own head on how to get yourself to that place.
Right. And I assume if you are that place, you've had your whole life people being like, you're different, you're better, you're it's all this stuff.
Or in my case, you're different. Why are you like this?
Yeah. I would, that'd be great if there was a coach. You know,
you're right. That's the difference. At least with sports, people are like, wow, keep going, man.
Yeah.
When you're like a creative type, people are like, what's wrong with you?
Yeah. You're acting odd.
Yeah.
Okay. What's a recently changed opinion?
Oh, dang. Ooh, that's really heavy. Hold on. I got to, oof. Okay. Easy answer is about music. Okay. Like I grew up a big punk rock kid, and then also loved obviously like Bright Eyes and like, you know, kind of folky indie stuff. But since I moved to New York, really unlocked my inner boogie monster in the way that like my mom loved Prince when I was a kid.
Oh, and like dance?
Dance music. And I loved LCD Sound System when I was younger, and got really into like what they now call indie sleaze when I was DJing in college. But then since I moved to New York, like old school disco and, you know, funk music and house music and really just getting into the history of the culture and appreciating it, and the way that I've just thrown myself into these scenes and the music has been so reinvigorating in a way that makes me feel like I'm 17 again, with the stuff that became so much of my identity when I was younger.
And if you grew up like, I mean, you grew up like a punk.
Emo
like,
kid, big swoopy bangs, lip ring, gauged ears. I got a Jawbreaker tattoo for God's sake.
Yeah, I got sick of it all.
Yeah, of course you did.
But like, there was not, at least with me, and maybe that like search for identity when you have for youth, and especially like sort of the masculine posturing of hardcore so much.
Yeah.
There's nothing less cool than dancing. You know what I mean? At the time.
But moshing is dancing.
It is.
They called it slam dancing. Right. And then the word slam dance went away so quickly because they didn't want to be associated with dancing. Oh, they're like, we mosh, we don't slam dance.
Yeah, but it's definitely like a different, like it's not choreographed, it's not a lot of self-expression outside of anger, outside of like aggression.
Exactly. And the other thing too is within rock music and moshing, is that it's like, and I see a lot of parallels between, and I'm a great mosher, I'm pit daddy now.
Yeah.
But it's a lot of similarities of like when a boogie boarder swim in the ocean. It's like centrifugal force,
right?
And it scares people, but it's not really that scary if you know how to do it right. But you don't feel like an individual. You are just like in this giant abyss in a way.
Right.
Where dancing is very singular. And if you go to like good clubs, it can have a similar energy like a mosh pit, but everybody's occupying their own little like 3 square foot space.
Yeah, I got it.
And sometimes you're dancing just on your own, and then people are looking at you. And so a lot of that comes from like, you know, an insecurity once again of like, oh, I don't want to be the focal point because somebody's gonna make fun of me or whatever like that, where I don't have that at all in my brain. And I think that's had a big influence on all these other parts of my life over the years where I've always, as my dad said, I've always been my own man, whatever that means.
Yeah.
But I've definitely had, but like the way that I was individualistic when I was younger and aggressive and punk rock and all that sort of stuff, it shares a lot of similarities just on the other side of the coin now with my love of dance and, you know, and self-expression and all that stuff. The difference is that I don't have this anger and angst in me in the way that I did when I was younger, that I'm like pushing against something.
It's a vulnerability.
Absolutely.
It's the ability
because that's
to be
what it is. I
vulnerable.
was vulnerable when I was younger, but I wouldn't feel comfortable in showing that vulnerability in a vulnerable way. Then it came out in an aggressive way. So that's been a huge change which has thankfully happened because
you have to.
Well, but a lot of guys don't. I mean,
that's the ulcers.
We still go to these rock shows.
Yeah.
We see these guys, you know, that like have not changed their look in 25 years, and the look is part of the mentality, and the mentality. And so that's the thing where it's like listening to all this music is like opened up these neural pathways in my mind in some ways that it does feel like I'm a kid again versus the bitter old scenester guy where it's like, I know what's up. This isn't as good as what I had, you know, that kind of thing.
Yeah. Okay. When is the last time you were in a mosh pit?
Last week.
Really?
Yeah. I saw the Spits, which best punk rock band out right now. One of the best pits I've ever been in my life.
Really?
Dude, I got hugged by like upwards of 5 strangers when I was walking out of that pit because I was right up front. Guys are making eye contact with me to catch them and throw them over my head. Like I felt like I was doing judo and like
you won't play
Chinese acrobatics with people.
You won't play basketball, but you'll get in the mosh pit?
Because it's same thing. That's what I'm saying, where it's like swimming in the ocean where I get up front and then I'm like pushing people off my backside and helping them up. And then sometimes I'll get in the circle pit, but the majority of the time I'm usually pretty stationary, trying to hold my balance and take care of everybody else.
Yeah. What's the worst you've ever been hurt in a mosh pit?
I honestly have never really been. I got shin splints 2 weeks ago at the Spits, and that was about it. Because I'm good in a pit, dude. Like,
sure. You're good in the pit?
I am really good in the pit, and I've been getting in the pit since I was 15.
Never got punched in the face, never got a black eye?
No, never got bloody, never got a black eye. I mean, I've taken like stuff to the head from time to time, and I've been in a crowd crush at Jawbreaker at Riot Fest in 2019.
Right.
I was in a crowd crush with like 25 people.
Yeah.
That was, and thank God it was Jawbreaker. Everybody was good about getting everybody up, but it was like we were all these dominoes that just fell on top of each other. And that is far scarier than anybody's elbow or fist or whatever. And so that's a big thing that I take anytime I go into a pit is to make sure everybody's safe. Because a crowd crush is truly dangerous. That's more dangerous than anything else that could happen. And that just isn't about mosh pits. That's everything. So now when I'm in these giant groups of people, I'm on heightened awareness of like where the exits are, who seems like they know what they're doing, who is an idiot who's like not letting people pass them. And you're like, you can't turn an ocean into a pond.
Your tactical emotion.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And then I was at Deftones like 3 weeks ago at MSG in the pit.
Yeah.
So many 20-year-old babyface dudes and then a bunch of 50-year-old CrossFit guys.
Right.
And me and the CrossFit guys were saving some lives in that pit, dude. I'm telling you.
I think the last time I was at the Fest in 2017 where I really hurt my foot during AJJ.
That's not the hardest kind of, like, what did you do?
Folk punk?
Yeah, like, how did you hurt yourself at folk punk?
I just got stepped on. My foot got stepped on really hard, and I hurt it really bad, and I had a hard time walking the rest of the week.
Well, I think it gets back to what we're talking about being old men. You just got to stretch. You got to prepare yourself.
Yeah.
So then that way, like, your body is loose enough to catch up to where your youthful mind is.
Right. Well, I don't think I'm moshing anymore.
I need it.
I don't have the desire. Okay.
Oh, I need it, like, deeply. Like, I didn't mosh for a number of years. If I did, it'd be for one song.
Yeah.
But I spent the majority of Blood Brothers this year in the pit, and I thought I was just going to go in and out. But then once I was in there, I was like, oh, it's like this again.
Right.
It felt like 2008, and I was like, and there was the crowd was amazing, and I was physically fit enough to do it. So
I don't know if I could do it again. I don't know if I'd get hyped enough about it.
See, that's the thing. If you don't have the desire, that's fine.
Right.
And that's why there's balconies. And
it was a lot of
bars and all that.
It was a lot of my youth.
And then you're probably the guy who's like looking like, the kids still got it. Look at him.
Yeah.
Oh man,
youthful rage.
Yeah, it'll never go away. Thank God.
You ever been to a demolition derby?
No, and I'm kind of anti-demolition derby. Actually, sorry. I love demolition derby, even though I've never really been, and I would love to drive in a demolition derby someday.
Yeah.
I don't care for monster truck rallies.
Okay. Yeah. Interesting.
Because it's first of all, demolition derby is usually outdoors. Monster truck rally is usually indoors. And demolition derby, it's like a fun thing where people are running into each other to see whose car keeps as long as possible. Monster truck rally is like the dude with the biggest truck doing flips and everything. So it's kind of, I guess it's the theme of the show. It's like, I'm down for things that are of the people for the people. Yeah. And not for something that's like, I am the best, richest guy with this thing, and now everybody gets to look at me. Right.
A derby is a collective. A rally is I don't want to go to a rally.
No.
You know what I mean? I'll go to a derby, right? Yeah, like this. We're gonna go to a rally to celebrate this celebrate Bigfoot or
Truckosaurus.
Yeah, right. I'm not worshiping anything.
And
no matter how big the truck.
Yes.
Monster or no monster. It's actually Frankenstein's monster truck.
Yeah, dude. Okay. But and also it being indoors, like. And I love dumb stuff too, like going back to the snob slob thing. Like I love going to Husker games and being at the tailgate and drinking too many Busch Lights and stuff like that. Right. But when you're indoors, the auditorial experience just becomes and then it just starts reeking of gas in there. Also, the lighting in a monster truck rally is just high fluorescence. Yeah. It just, that's just not for me. And I blow people's mind when I tell them this, because apparently I seem like a guy who loves monster truck rallies.
I can see that. I can see you loving monster truck rallies, but I'm not blindsided by this take.
I'm serious though. If you want to do a derby someday, or you know about one around here this summer, let me know. Because I would be down to do it for sure.
Tyler Walsh does the PA.
Dude, let me know.
Yeah.
I mean, another theme too. I love contact.
Right.
So that's why I would like to be in the car in the derby.
I think that I would get tired of a monster truck thing about 15, 20 minutes.
Exactly.
I think like
it just seems like it's so much of the same.
I'd be like, holy crap, that's a large truck. Look at it go. And then I'd be like,
it just crushed a car.
Yeah.
Well, there's another one that's crushing more cars.
It's like an action movie. I don't need to see another guy get kicked. You know, like I've seen 30 guys get kicked. I think I've seen enough kicking.
Well, then give me all of your action VHS, because that's one of my big genres I have.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's just some, but
give me all your Van Dams.
But tell me about a derby experience. Like, I mean,
I've never been to one, which is crazy because like where I grew up in North Platte, I think they had them like every year around Nebraska Land Days. Like I've been to rodeos and other things and I've been to stock yard races and stuff, but that's the one that I just missed, and it always seemed cool. Pup has a music video where they put for Mabu, that song, where it's based off an actual car that him and his sister shared, and then they enter it in a demolition derby. Yeah, and that looks fun as hell.
My dad used to run the music tent at the Harrison County Fair every year.
Oh my god,
demolition derby every year. And
that's your origin story, dude.
Yeah. But
what I wouldn't give to go back to 1992 and see young Zach there just gazing up at Papa running the music tent.
Eating a Tootsie Roll, doing karaoke. Yeah. Whoa, what a life.
Maybe that'll be your movie you make.
I could have a set at the Harrison County Fair. I think we have
well, that's a very long one.
A question.
That seems like more of a monologue, but okay.
Oh, this is like a thought experiment.
Oh, my favorite kind of experiments.
Okay. A mad scientist invents a machine that will allow you to live in a personalized simulation, similar to a video game or the Matrix. The scientist can guarantee that you'll be happy in this machine as long as long as it caters to every woman's fantasy. And while you are in the machine, you won't know it's a simulation. With all that said, every person, everything you encounter is simply a programmed simulation, and nothing will be real. The catch is, if you choose to live in the simulation, you can never go back to the real world. What would you do?
I'm out. I don't want this simulation.
Yeah, right.
First of all,
you're not going to do it?
I was out when you said it's all catered to what I would want.
Yeah.
That's not what I'm here for.
Okay.
If this, going back to what I was saying before, if everything was catered to what I want, I wouldn't have become who I am now.
Right.
Like,
that's
my evolution has come from outside forces.
Right. That's very gumption, like, Bill's character guy.
I do have gumption. I've been told this before. I've been told I have gumption and grit. And so if you remove that from my experience, I'm not me anymore.
Huh. Okay. I get it. I'd go for the simulation.
Sure. I'm not acting like I'm not self-indulgent.
Right.
Obviously. A lot of what I do is pleasure seeking, but I do need diversity in my lived experience to be able to be happy as well.
Did it say if it would, you could remember your past life before going to the simulation?
I think that would make it worse, because then all of a sudden the foundations of my past life are removed. Like, I love going to the beach, but I don't spend my life on an all-inclusive resort. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, so I think that's really the key. And I like the San Junipero episode of Black Mirror. But
I get it.
I don't know if I could really live on or Devs. I don't know if you watch that show. Similar kind of thought experiment as that.
I think it'd be like a cool retirement. You know what I mean? You have your whole life.
Hold on.
And then the last 20 years of your life.
All right. With that qualifier, then maybe I'm in. If I'm 68, 69, nice, years old, then I might be down for that.
Right.
But at 39, I have no interest in that right now.
Yeah. I feel like you should give life a shot. And then once you sort of didn't live up to your own expectations, then you can go into the...
You doing PSAs, anti-suicide.
Yeah.
Give life a shot, folks.
Give life a shot.
It's not that bad out there.
If it sucks, you can go into the computer and be Peyton Manning or whatever the hell you want to be.
Yeah. Well, they're kind of doing that with VR already. I've already seen people that are just like giving up on shared experience, and they're like...
20 years from now, I'll go in.
Yeah, I mean, I would say 30, but I'm with you. Yeah. But right now, it just seems like I'd be depriving myself.
Right.
And I don't want to be doing that.
No, I think that's reasonable. I just feel like there has to be a point where life becomes unbearable.
Oh, and yes, of course. I felt like that over the past year at some points.
Yeah.
But also, like, I got to snap out of it and then see, like, a better side of things.
Wouldn't that cool for that to be an option? Because, you talked about, like...
I do think it'd be cool if that was an option, because it'd get rid of so many people that are annoying me right now.
Sure.
That we could, like, all the selfish, like, sociopaths...
Right.
...would just be over in the simulation, and then the rest of us could... continue to build upon what life used to be like before TikTok or whatever the fuck. Like,
right. Well, I think
before I had a cell phone. To be 16 again and just roam around and go to my friend's house in 2002.
Right. I often pitch the idea to my wife that we could move to the country and get rid of our cell phones and just have a landline.
Yeah.
And like maybe a flip phone and no laptops, just a desktop.
I've said similar stuff to my wife.
And then
analog cabin.
And no streaming.
Yeah.
And just DVDs
just all
and
tapes
stuff like
and records.
that.
Yeah, buddy.
And then she just looks at me and goes, "You'd hate that. We're not doing it." Like, she's right. Like, I'm more addicted to my phone than her.
Right now.
Yeah.
Well, this is what I'm saying.
Well, that's what I'm
20 years from now, though, it sounds pretty nice. I'm out there smoking doobies, working on my paintings of photographs I took in my 30s.
Right.
Cool, man.
Right. I agree.
Yeah.
All right. We're going to have one more question.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Is the show normally this deep? Or did you just pull out... is this a work? Like, you pulled these questions out for me specifically because you know I'm like such a heady dude?
No, I I think that since I wrote the questions, we're very similar, of the same age, and of the same interest. That like what I'm getting at, and what the essence of what I'm trying to get at with the question, you pick up on already.
Sick.
So you can answer it and just
divinity,
sort of
bro.
If you want to call it that,
sure.
But I think I just think that that's the whole point of the show, is to have conversations. You know, you're not anticipating, but they're worth having. Okay, last question. Where can people find you online, or do you even care about that?
Oh, I care.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Even though it might sound like I'm about ready to go out to the woods tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'm still in the game, dog.
Well, I'm doing a podcast. I definitely care. I'm doing it, and it has to be
Dude,
video.
I think that just summed up guys of our age at this moment, where it's like our impulses are like, I should just go out to the beach or the woods forever and let the kids take it. But then it's like, I got a lot to say still. I'm still hip. I'm still with it.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I think it's that all or nothing approach, where it's like, if I can't be the center of attention, I don't want any of it. Yeah. You know? So I'm going to go off to the woods.
I'm fighting that urge all the time.
Right.
But yeah, website will be back up next month, KevinO'BrienComedy.com. Mm-hmm. I'm also getting another URL, corndogcomedy.com. Mm-hmm. You can find me at CorndogO'Brien on Instagram, Venmo, and Cash App.
Okay.
I do have TikTok, but I haven't been on there in 5 years. There's just one video of me dancing with my wife. So if you're interested in that. But yeah, at CorndogO'Brien on all major social medias, Spotify, Tidal, Mixcloud, all that stuff.
All right. Yeah, check out the DJ stuff.
Yeah, man.
I don't know what you call it. Also, if you think these questions suck, go ahead and submit your own at stopitpod.com. You can find links to all the episodes there, and just a form to put in your own questions, and I'll put it in the bucket.
If you think these questions suck, you suck. Oh, these have been incredible questions.
Try your own. I'd love to see them. I'm tired of doing all the work.
Very middle-aged of you once again.
Yeah. Oh, this is a good one to go out on. What is your greatest fear?
Oh, instantaneous death.
Really?
Yeah. Like I'm talking to you, and then all of a sudden, embolism, boop, and that's it. Gone.
Really?
Oh, it's the worst.
That does not scare me.
Oh, man. It didn't scare me when I was a good little Catholic boy.
Right.
Like, everything's fine. I'll just keep being me up in heaven or whatever.
Yeah.
And then once I learned about Sartre and existentialism and the electric meatball and everything, I was like, oh no. So
really,
I'm a spiritual guy now, but that doesn't mean that it's done anything to quell my deep, deep fear of just dying out of nowhere and not knowing it.
So like the terror of non-existence.
The terror of non-existence.
Hell yeah, dog.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We should start a band.
I love it.
That's a great name.
Well, I mean, we already started a band because it doesn't exist.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's called the terror of non-existence. Our music is not available.
Yeah. We're on no social media. Mm-mm. You'll never be able to find us because we're already gone.
We're not playing live.
How could we?
We don't exist. It is pretty terrifying to think about. All right, with that, thank you for watching.
Oh, my God.
Thank you for listening
treat.
to Stop It. My guest is Kevin O'Brien. You were listening. Now you can stop it.